welcome to another weekly reading vlog in which I try to read down my own TBR. I have 258 books that I own that I have not yet read, so hopefully this week we can make a lot of progress on getting my TBR down. As you saw from the last vlog that I did acquire quite a few books and I did not read as many books, but I am going back to my old store, so I will hopefully be more in the routine that I am used to. But yes, this vlog I am very focused on not acquiring any books. For one, I don't have any trips planned. I don't foresee myself getting any books. So my plan is to try and read as many books as I possibly can. So I'm currently reading Get It Out and Imperfect Victims. Both of these are ebooks, although only one of them is one that I own and is going towards this challenge. But I do plan on starting a new audiobook today, so I will let you know which one I decide on picking up, but it will probably be a shorter one just so I can feel like I'm making a lot of progress. I do plan on reading shorter books this week just so I can feel that momentum. Since my last vlog, it was 2 weeks actually instead of just one, and I only read 3 books, which is a lot lower for me, and I just want to feel that momentum since this year I'm really trying to get my TBR down just as much as possible. It's very overwhelming and stressful for me, and I would like to get rid of that stress. So yes, I do have big plans to read a lot this week, but we shall see how that goes, and I will keep you updated as always. Hello, so I'm getting ready to leave for work. But while I was getting ready, I was listening to the audiobook of The Unworthy, and so I just wanted to come on here and give that little update that I did choose an audiobook, and it is a very short one. The audiobook is on 2 times speed. I believe it was only like 2 hours and 45 minutes, so it's a very quick one, but I am just over 25%. I want to say I was around 27% into it so far, and I'm really enjoying it. It's this religious, culty type of horror book, and I'm really loving it so far. So I'm very excited to continue on with this one, but I did just want to pop in and give that little update. It has been a couple of days, so let's talk about the progress that I have made, because I did my goal of making progress. I'm very happy of what I've accomplished so far this week, and the week's not even over, so I'm very proud of this progress. But let's talk about the books that I have finished. So I said I wanted to read some shorter books this week, so I picked up Castle Swimmer Volume 1. This is a graphic novel. It's a very beautiful, very bluey green because it takes place underwater, and I read this in one day and I gave it 4 stars. I thought this was really cute and a really great start to this series, and I am very interested to continue on with it. So this was a very great start to the week. I also finished my ebook of Get It Out, and this is one that I actually ended up giving 2 stars. I know I kept saying that I was really enjoying it because I was, for like the entire beginning, up to about like 40%, I started noticing a trend in this book, and that kind of continued on. But this book is all about hysterectomies, and it talks a lot about who gets hysterectomies, different reasons why people would get one, and it talks about how doctors treat different patients differently. And I kind of just wanted a lot more from this book. I wanted a lot more, I guess, informative, factual kind of things. This book is mainly just, I guess, interviews with people who have had hysterectomies or who want to get one, and it's pretty much just all quotes from other people. There's not much that this author really inserts themselves, or like information given really, and I think that if there's just more substance to this book besides just being mainly made up of quotes, it would have made a bigger impact on me. For nonfiction, I prefer learning about certain topics when I'm reading like a nonfiction book dedicated to a certain topic like this one, and sort of just reading a bunch of people's quotes about like their feelings on a hysterectomy wasn't exactly what I was looking for, and that is beneficial to this book. I'm not discrediting that. I do think that is very helpful to have in a book like this. It was just the entire book, basically. And then also at the very end of the book, it has a table showing the different race makeup of all of the people interviewed for this book, and it leans very heavily white. It is very white centered. People of color were of course interviewed for this book, but looking at that table, you can definitely see how skewed the numbers are, and I feel like when you are presenting certain information, such as how people of color are more likely to be talked into getting a hysterectomy versus white women who are told to save their uterus for potential future kids and stuff. I think when you're presenting that kind of information, I feel like it's more beneficial to have a more even split, and that kind of just gave me, I guess, a bad taste in how skewed those numbers were, especially with a book focused on the discrepancies between how doctors treat different patients. It felt off to me. So while this book was good and it was insightful, I just really wanted a lot more out of it. It is a very short book, but yeah, I had a lot of high hopes for it, but it never got there, unfortunately. I also finished listening to the audiobook of The Unworthy, and this was really great. I gave it 4 stars. I think I talked a little bit about this one in my last update, so I won't really go into it much more, but I did really enjoy this one. Also, I did not know that this was queer before going into it, so that was also a very nice surprise, but this one was just really good. It's the kind of horror that I like, where it's like very subtle horror. It's just uncomfortable. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I cannot wait to read the other books by this author. I know Tender is the Flesh is one of this author's popular books. It is one that I have been meaning to read for a while now, and I am even more excited to get to that one. And then I ended up DNFing a couple of books. So I have 2 physical books that I ended up DNFing. We have The Unexpected Everything and The Geography of Lost Things. Both of these are YA contemporary romance type books. I've stated in multiple vlogs that I am not the biggest fan of YA contemporary anymore, specifically books surrounding like high school age students. I just don't really like reading that genre or age category as much anymore. I just kind of grown out of it, and these were ones that I've had on my shelves for a while now, and I kind of had an idea that I was going to DNF these, and I'll talk about it later, but I did go through my shelves to pick out some books that I wanted to unhaul, so I wanted to try out a couple chapters of these books just to see if I did want to continue them or get rid of them, and these will be getting unhauled. I do not think that they are bad books by any means. I am just not the target audience for them, so yes. But that did get another 2 books off of my physical TBR, which is nice. And then I also ended up DNFing the audiobook for Our Wives Under the Sea. I believe that's the title. But I had an audiobook of this one through Libro, and I just could not get into the audiobook. It was very slow, but I also could not speed the audiobook up with the narrator's accent, because then I just couldn't understand it. So this is just one I want to try in a different format, probably getting the physical copy from my library. But yes, this one is DNF'd and taken off of my audiobook TBR, but I do plan on coming back to this one later in the future. As for what I am currently reading, I'm still reading Imperfect Victims. Again, this is not one on my actual TBR, so it doesn't count towards my whole reading down my TBR challenge, but it is one that I'm reading, so I'm still going to mention it. And then I'm also reading Caliban's War. Yes, I do know that I started this vlog out by saying I wanted to read shorter books. However, I was just really in the mood to read this one, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get very far into it. However, I do plan on making more progress today since I am off from work. But this is book 2 in the Expanse series, and I absolutely loved the first one, and I have been meaning to get around to reading the second book. And since I was in the mood, I figured why not? I'm a very big mood reader, so I'm not going to stop myself from picking up a book that I'm in the mood to read. But yes, I'm only about 2 chapters into this, but I will say I am very glad to be back in this world. I love the writing style that, I believe it's 2 authors that have a combined name, but I love their writing style. It just works for me so well. And yeah, this is just a very intriguing start to the story, and I'm really excited to continue. But those are all the books that I have read, DNF'd, that I'm currently reading. I do plan on doing that unhaul video today. I have all of the books that I want to talk about sitting next to me on the floor. So that is what I'm planning to do after I finish this little update. So you can look forward to that unhaul video coming sometime. I have no clue when, or if it will be before or after this vlog, I don't know. But yes, it is spring, so I'm considering it my little spring cleaning. When I was rearranging my bookshelves, I just kept noticing a bunch of books that I didn't really care to keep on my shelves, which is how I decided to do this whole unhaul. But yes, other than that, I think the only thing that there is to update is that yesterday I did start back at my old store, but with that promotion that I had, and it was a fine day. I have no complaints. It was a bit stressful, but that's just because I find getting trained for a new position very stressful. It's also a lot more responsibility, which I also find stressful, but I do think it will be fine. I am very used to working at that store and all of the people there, so I think it will be fine. But that is my little update on everything. So I will come back. I'm not sure if I will have another update for you or if the next time you see me in this vlog is to do a wrap up of the week, but yes, I will see you then. Hello and welcome to the end of this vlog. So since my last update, absolutely nothing has happened really. I've made some progress on Caliban's War, but other than that, nothing has really happened. I did cut 3 inches off my hair, so that I guess did happen, but reading wise, no progress has really been made. So let's talk about my final numbers. So I have a total of 252 books left on my TBR, and breaking that down as always by the format, I have 43 ebooks, 111 audiobooks, and 98 physical books. So again, all of my numbers are down. I'm making really great progress on my TBR. I'm very happy with the progress that I made this week. I got a lot of books off of my TBR this week, so I am very happy about that. So my only plan for next week is to focus on finishing Caliban's War. I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm about 70 pages into it. I am reading this one very quickly. I already sort of know all of these characters and I'm sort of familiar with the world since this is the second book in the series. So even though it's a very chunky sci-fi book, how I'm reading it is sort of at a faster pace that it doesn't necessarily intimidate me. So I am hoping to finish this one in the upcoming week. And that's really my only reading plan, just because I think finishing this will be enough of a project and it gets a big book off of my TBR, which will be really exciting. But that is it for this week's reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment whatever you feel like commenting, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!